On this episode, our search continues with another road trip to find our cabin. We head out on a kayak trip to find our peace and quiet, and Mouse just trips.
No.
All that and more coming up on the one where we find it. Hi, we're Matt and Mouse and we live on the west coast of Canada.
We moved here about 20 years ago, and like many people, we've had our ups and downs over the years, but we've loved every minute of being here.
When the pandemic hit, we decided that now was the time to commit to our future plans of a dream cabin in the woods and just go for it.
This is our story. Okay, so we did some really awesome trips up north and we got a really good idea of the sort of places we want to be, stuff like that. But after we missed out on the one, and then we found a lot of almost runs and not quite the perfect ones. And as much as we kept trying to find stuff, there's only limited stock. Limited stock, is that?
Limited housing inventory.
Limited inventory, that's what I've heard a lot of that being talked about in the last year. Limited inventory, that's the word I wanted. And I guess we got a little tired, disheartened. Even though we've only just started the search, I don't know, we needed to get a bit of perspective, I think, as to why we're doing this.
Yeah, I think we did a few thousand kilometers just driving around looking for the place that we wanted.
And you kind of forget. You have to remind yourself the reason why you're doing this and the vision.
Yeah.
So to do that.
So we called in sick the other day and we went out on the lake.
Just to remind ourselves as to why we want to live by a lake.
So we managed to get out on the lake and that was really good. We only saw a couple of other people on the lake. It was beautiful, calm.
Yeah, it's a really good time of the year
nice.
to get on that lake.
Yeah.
That particular lake, I love. It's really, really local to where we are. But in the summer, you cannot get near it for power boats. And it's heaving in the summer because it's very, very popular.
Very popular.
Yeah. People from the city. So, but we charged the batteries. I felt like Wall-E, when he has that little... solar thing. Yeah.
That was really good. So we came back and we made a new list of other properties to go and see in different areas. And we got ready for another road trip, didn't we?
Yeah, new area, new drive.
New snacks. Road snacks.
Well, new as in their new packets, but same road snacks.
Road snacks. So we had a great road trip. We went up and we saw some beautiful lakes, Hawkins Lake, and what are some of the others, Mouse?
we did go around Canham, which we know quite well. So we only did really 3 lakes this time. We did Hawkins and Canham while we were waiting for the realtor. The realtor, just cracked my knuckles. My kids do that all the time. I've never done that before. Yeah, we went and then back down to Horse Lake, which while we were waiting for the realtor, I think, to get hold of one of the properties we wanted to go and see. So Hawkins,
which we didn't actually go and see, because when we looked at it, we tried to drive down there and it was a forestry service road that was incredibly badly maintained. And after 20 minutes of trying to drive it, I just gave up.
And we're not scared of forestry roads. We,
no,
you've gone off
this
roading
one was,
and stuff.
This one was really, I wouldn't want to do it regularly. So.
And you can't do it so many months of the year.
Yeah.
And then there was one that was really little. So one was really too small. One wasn't accessible. One we couldn't find because it said private, no trespassing. And we were like, is it down there?
Yeah, we couldn't get to that.
Couldn't find that one. And we found another one that was too busy or too... So yeah, it felt like we were doing the whole Goldilocks and the 3 Bears thing.
Yeah. But then we stumbled across one that we had previously discounted and eliminated from our lists, but we're in the area, so I thought, hey, it's like 10 minutes down the road, so we had to drive down there, and it was actually really nice.
Yeah. It was the one we'd seen so many times and said, nah.
Yep.
And turns out
it was really nice.
Just right. I feel like this is where your driveway would be. Oh yeah. There's a post here. There's a marker here. Oh, it's not. It's somebody's ski stick. No. I just want to point out that I was okay. I hit some ice and I kind of got myself, I went on my bum. So my pride was more hurt and my bum was a bit wet and I got my legs all pretzeled in a way that I needed 2 hands to get back up, and I was holding the camera with one, and me being me, I will save the camera over my butt any day. And so I needed a second hand to try and untangle my legs to get me back up, but I was okay.
Okay, so at this point, we were absolutely completely lost. We had no idea where we were. We'd just been wandering around. I thought we were going in a straight line, but...
It's really disorienting. And when there are no posts and fancy things and there's just trees.
Trees everywhere. So, yeah. But then, as we carried on walking, we finally got to the beautiful scenery. So after we checked out the lake and the beautiful view, we managed to make our way back towards the front of the property and to the truck at the road, where we happened to bump into a couple of the neighbors that were walking past with their dogs, and that was great. We had a great chat with them for about half an hour or so, and we learned a lot about the area, about the people, and about the property. Like they actually told us where the property lines were for that property. It was brilliant.
Made a huge difference actually to our decision going forward, because and that's kind of one of the reasons why I thought this was the one, because I just felt like the fact that they came along right at the time they did, and the things that they said that they did, it just screamed to me, this is the one.
It was good. So we had a chat with them, then we made the drive back home. We got home, and we had a chat with the realtor. We put an offer in on that property fairly quickly, and we got the paperwork all done and went ahead with it. The property closed fairly quickly, which was nice. It wasn't without incident as we went through the closure.
The shredded check. I mean, the dreaded check.
So
we can laugh about it now. At the time, this was probably one of the most stressful days of our marriage, I would say. I was incredibly calm. It
was not one of my smartest decisions or accidents. So what happened was we knew that we had to get the down payment for the property. So I wanted to try and do this ahead of time. We knew we were closing on the Friday. So Tuesday I went down to the bank. I arranged with them to get a bank draft, and they did it all up for me. Bank draft, I had it all in my hand. I put it in an envelope, brought it home, put it on my desk, then went about my other work that I had to do, and we did a few other things. And then Wednesday, I went down to my office and tidied up a little bit. I cleaned up some papers that I no longer needed. I shredded some stuff that I didn't need anymore.
Can you see where this is going?
And it turns out that one of the things I shredded was the bank draft. Now, for those of you who don't know, a bank draft is essentially cash. So I had taken a couple of $1,000s and put it through the shredder. Now, at the time, I wasn't 100% sure I'd done it, but I was confident enough that that's what I'd done.
The entire family had been grilled as to the location of this missing draft.
Yeah.
And he really wanted it to be some other solution other than his gut feeling that he'd gone through the shredder. And then we ended up going through the shred. We still had the shredded paper. So we started going through it, and I'd had some tiny jigsaw puzzle for Christmas, and so I'd bought myself a special light because I'm getting old, to be able to see these jigsaw puzzle pieces. And we found a couple of pieces of the paper that looked exactly like what we.
And me being me, it wasn't a normal shredder. It was a high security micro crosscut shredder. So each piece of this bank draft that was the size of a check was now the size of a grain of rice. Just thinking back, it's just so crazy. We started about 6 o'clock on Thursday night. 6 o'clock we started fishing through this bin of shredded paper with a pair of tweezers, a magnifying glass and a flashlight, carefully tweezing apart all these pieces of shredded paper, and we recovered about 65% of the check.
It's very precise, 65.
Ballparking it, right?
Yeah, we were doing it till about, I think, 2, 3 in the morning, and then my eyes couldn't take any more, so I went to bed for a couple of hours, and I was back up, but I couldn't really sleep very well, so I was back up again at like 7 o'clock in the morning, back down there, my hands and knees with a pair of tweezers, because we kind of knew as well, once we started recognizing what certain pieces of it looked like, it was, sifting through, and then gradually piecing it together like some extravagant jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
I've gone off jigsaw puzzles since then.
So we managed to get 65% of it, and I put it on a piece of basically a piece of sticky back plastic, so to speak, so that we could reassemble it back to roughly what it should have been. And we had 2 copies. We had the check itself, and then we had the carbon copy, which was the receipt. So I had them both. At 10 a.m. the next day, we both drove down to the bank. And I first I said, I think I screwed up. And I showed them what I'd done. And the poor woman on the telling station, she was just kind of like almost in disbelief. She had to get the managers to come out, and I explained it all to the bank manager, who also was like, are you not right?
Yeah, kudos to these folks. They did everything in their power to get it cleared so that we could be reissued one.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. They were absolutely really good. They were absolutely amazing. Phenomenal. At the branch. They really, really were. We couldn't have asked for more help. Yeah. And they kind of, I don't know, at first they were shocked for us and felt really bad for us, and gradually as the saga went on, they then started to find it really funny.
So we had to go back. Obviously, the bank manager had to contact the head office in Toronto and get the check reissued and go through their securities department because of the value of the check. It was over a few $1,000s. And so they did that, and then we had to go back in and pick up the check. And when I went in to pick up the check, I'm like, there was a lot of staff in the foyer because they all wanted to see the idiot that had shredded a bank draft.
And then spent all that time
tweezing it out of the shredder. So
I think we're infamous there now.
Yeah, so thanks to those guys. They really helped us out. They really, really got us out of a bad point. And we actually managed to close on time as expected. And nobody's any the wiser.
They are now. Yeah. We just confessed it.
So, heads up, if you ever have a bank draft, look after that is like cash. Just put it in a safe and keep. No, don't put it in a safe, you might lose the key. Put it somewhere. I don't know, I'll just give it to you now.
Yeah, if we've ever done anything like that now, he gives it to me. I'm clumsy with tools, but I'm safe with stuff like that.
Man.
And we now have a rule with the shredding.
Yeah.
That all shredding goes into a filter tray that's double checked by both of us before it goes to the shredder.
Anyway.
You can look at it and laugh now, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so we closed, and then this happened.
It is critical that we focus our efforts on continuing to do the things that we know reduce transmission.
At this point, non-essential travel should be confined to local travel only.
And to further curb transmissions, BC is also ramping up travel restrictions within the province.
This is not the time to load up the Winnebago and travel around British Columbia.
Starting Friday, there will be random road checks.
So on Friday, Minister Mike Farnworth will issue orders under the Emergency Program Act to restrict people's ability to leave their health authority.